Hello and good morning, delegates. My name is Shok and I'm the Deputy Chair of SDG 4 for this year's MSMUN conference. The issue at hand is measures to ensure all girls and boys have access to quality early childhood development and pre-primary education. So let's first get to know the issue at hand.
As war went all around her, she knew she'd have to hide. So she took out a book and she quickly climbed inside. The words washed over her and under her, becoming a thick shield that the bullets couldn't penetrate. The ink just wouldn't yield. The path was now clear, and her resolve was even stronger. But her journey stretched ahead of her, seeming ever longer.
According to the World Health Organization, early childhood development is the development of physical, cognitive, and motor development for children between the ages of 0 and 8. So, as you can probably tell, pre-primary education plays a huge role in achieving early childhood development since it's basically the foundation of children's education. UNICEF research has found that nearly half of pre-primary age children globally are not enrolled in preschool, and this will most likely affect their future performances, seeing as pre-primary education has significant impacts on how children do in education programs. So as you can tell, failure to enroll has serious negative effects on young children, and it denies them future opportunities, it limits their potential, the list goes on. Education improves lives everywhere and opens countless opportunities. It enhances skills, which also boosts and promotes economic growth. And children who receive quality childhood development and pre-primary education tend to always achieve more in school, and as a result, their life as adults is a lot less difficult since they have a list of things. They have higher employment and earnings, they have better health, they have lower crime rates than those who didn't receive any childhood assistance. So overall, just to recap, quality early childhood development children are given exposure from a very young age, which grants them long-term quality development, learning, and good health. Now let's talk about factors preventing early childhood development. So generally speaking, there are 4 factors that prevent this: wealth, ethnicity, disability, and location. First, let's talk about wealth. So the wealth gap in more economically developed countries means that the children of wealthy families are 5 times more likely to have access to early childhood development and pre-primary education, which unfairly advantages the children of wealthy families. Now let's talk about ethnicity or race. So the racial gap in MEDCs, which is more economically developed countries, means that children globally suffer from unfair racially biased discrimination in pre-primary schools. Now let's talk about location. So enrollment usually depends on where people are born. So like in low-income countries, only 1 in 5 young children are enrolled, and even those people enrolled don't have quality education. They don't have professionally trained educators and are in the wrong environments. And in many low and middle income countries, rural areas are very underdeveloped in terms of access to early childhood development. This means that along with other several factors, location plays a huge part in access to childhood development. And lastly, let's talk about disabilities. So children with disabilities suffer from practically invisibility, even in the richest countries, not having basic access to education. Some are abandoned, some are institutionalized, and more often than not, their rights are violated. Organizations that have impacted the issue. So UNICEF has worked with over 140 countries around the world in support of pre-primary education with non-discriminatory initiatives that look to provide early childhood development to vulnerable populations. Next, we have the National Association for the Education of Young Children. So this organization sets the standards for early childhood education programs and promotes healthy development of children in order to prepare them for primary school. The World Health Organization. The World Health Organization has always prioritized early childhood development in the programs of its work, and one of the most significant things WHO has done to promote early childhood development is, along with UNICEF and the World Bank, they have collaborated with Early Childhood Development Action and developed a nurturing care framework. So in conclusion, this issue is pressing. Children everywhere must be given quality early childhood development and pre-primary education. Early childhood development is not only extremely beneficial for the children themselves, but is also an effective strategy for promoting economic growth. The more children are exposed to early assistance, the greater their social, physical, cognitive, and emotional development will be, which will then give them a chance for a much brighter future, where they can contribute to their country's economy and grow to be good members of society. The early years are one of the most important of people's lives, and it's critical to give every child this early privilege. How children are born, learn, live, and grow shapes how the brain develops during the early years, and the foundation is laid for a child's mental and physical health, affecting everything from the longevity to the ability to change the capacity for resilience against adverse circumstances. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you at this year's MSMUN conference.